I have been asked so much to share how I plan for our homeschool day and lessons, so I've finally made this video to show you how I plan, or should I say don't plan. This may be a surprise, but I don't actually plan any of our lessons. I know for some people that might sound really unorganised, and considering how much I love being organised, it's even a shock for me really that I don't plan. But I have my reasons and I'm going to share them with you in this video. Plus I'm going to share with you how I do in fact use a planner, but in a different way that's been a little bit more positive for us. So the way that I plan is very simple. I basically plan backwards most of the time, and the first reason for that is this. When I used to come up with a rough idea of what I wanted us to get done that day, and I'd write it all out neatly with all the right intentions, life would then happen, as it does, and my perfect little plan for the day would be interrupted or ruined in my mind. And then I would be stressed out that I didn't get to tick a box here or there that day, and then the next day life would happen again, as it does, and I'd miss a box again, and then I'd end up looking at all the unchecked boxes and feeling like I'd failed that week. The thing is, in the place of the unchecked boxes should have been the things that we did do that day that I didn't necessarily plan for, but they happened anyway. The spontaneous baking where we use a load of math, or the times when we read extra books on the sofa that we hadn't planned to read, or even investigating a new flower that's randomly popped up in the back garden. It's all learning and it's all education, and it all deserves its place, whether it be in the planner or just in your memories. So after realising that planning our day didn't work for us, mainly because we realised we generally like to go with the flow in our days, and things change and pop up that can mess with the perfectly jotted down plans, so I decided to change the way I use my planner. Instead, I wanted to write down what we did do that day, and then seeing everything that we accomplished was so much more fulfilling, knowing that it was our day and not a failed plan. Since then, we've worked out a really consistent rhythm that tends to just flow naturally every day. And so I know that I can write down our main dailies, I call them, and put a tick next to it if I want to, but mostly I will end up just waiting until we've finished for the day, and then I'll write it all up, kind of like a homeschool diary rather than a planner. And then that way I can still keep track of what we're doing and where we are with certain subjects and lessons. So here's an example of our week so far. Yesterday was Wednesday and we had a day off. We had a play date in the morning and a walk planned with our granddad, the girls' granddad, in the afternoon. Today we've had history and geography. We did those first because we missed them on Tuesday. And so we did those first, and then we done language arts and math and reading in the afternoon. Tuesday was pretty similar, just minus the history and geography. And Monday again the same. Our morning time is usually always the same. The girls do their morning menu, handwriting independently, and then I read them the Bible or our devotional or both. And then our subjects after that. So this is just how I jot it down. Some days I'll write down what I want us to do and tick it off as we do it. Other days I'll just record what we did do that day. Very simple, not a lot of planning. I just keep it simple. So this works really well for us because we use curriculums that are very much open and go. Everything's laid out for us. All we need to do is open, read the lesson, and then complete it. And then everything else is just left to where the day takes us. As I mentioned before, we like to let the days flow naturally, so we don't have a particular order of lessons either. I just know in my head that our main priorities are morning time, which is mainly Bible, handwriting and morning menus, which has their calendar, poetry, map work and a math sheet, and then math and language arts. And 3 or 4 days a week we make sure we do a geography, a history and a science lesson. And this way there is no behind or falling behind. We just carry on with our lessons and pick up each day where we left off the day before. So this free flow rhythm doesn't necessarily work with planning ahead. Now this might change for us in the future as they get older, but for now it's working for us. And it probably isn't for everybody, but I wanted to share it anyway in case anyone was feeling the way that I felt about writing out plans for the day and then not ticking off the boxes. Hopefully this was a helpful insight into the alternative method that I use for planning out our homeschool days.